Hi there, my name is Councillor Dave Doogan and I'm the convener of housing in Perth Kinross Council. I wanted to speak to you briefly about the importance of our Rent First programme, how that affects you as a tenant of the council and how you pay your rent affects how we deliver services right across Perth Kinross in terms of housing. I think it's quite important that we understand where the rent that tenants pay to the council goes. Some people might think that money receipted by the council on rents is available to spend on any council services, but the truth is it goes into a very special location called the Housing Revenue Account. The Housing Revenue Account is essentially a ring-fenced fund that the housing service can spend only on housing and in our communities where we have our council housing. That money is invested directly in new builds, so new council housing to add to our existing stock, and to making sure that we offer some of the very best council housing anywhere in Scotland. But it's not just about creating new housing, although that's important, and I'm very pleased that we're adding every single year to our available council houses in Perth and Kinross. It's about improving the houses that our tenants live in, houses like you live in. It's about making sure we've got up-to-date and fit-for-purpose bathrooms and kitchens, and it's about the efficiency of your home and how easy that is to heat. We've invested millions of pounds in external insulation, in new replacement boilers, and in areas of Perth and Kinross where there isn't a gas connection, we've helped tenants to lower their heating bills by putting in renewable energy sources like solar panels on council house roofs. So all these things together are priorities for how we spend the money that rents pay into the housing revenue account. And that's the work that we seek to continue by making sure that the rents come in on time every month. Now, nobody's pretending that making sure your rent is paid every month is easy. Bills are hard to pay, but I want to make the point that your rent is your single most important bill that you pay every month, because it provides and ensures that you keep the roof over your head and over your family's head. But when there are difficulties in budgeting and making sure that you've got enough money to pay your rent, don't pretend that it's not happening. Don't put your head in the sand. Contact your housing office. Perth and Kinross Council Housing Services have helped hundreds of people who were worried about paying their rent and were potentially going to get into arrears to get a payment plan that was appropriate for them and that made sure they didn't get into housing arrears. Or, if a tenant has got into housing arrears, the council will work with them and work with you to make sure that payment plan is affordable for you and that it will get you out of arrears in a reasonable time. The worst thing a tenant can do, any tenant, is pretend that rent arrears is not happening. It is happening, and where the council seeks to engage with any tenant with rent arrears and the tenant refuses to engage, that's when the problems start. You can't pretend it's not happening, because the council won't pretend it's not happening. And where we're not getting a response from a tenant and those arrears are growing larger and larger, we'll continue to try and help. But if our help is not accepted as a landlord, the council has the opportunity to remove the tenancy from the tenant.